Hi, and welcome to our course, Writing That Connects. So in this particular video, I'm just going to share with you some of the content that's going to be coming up in our course, also a bit of my history as far as writing, and I hope that it will be able to sort of be a good introduction to our course here. So my most profound memory of writing was from when I was a little fella, and I was writing. And when I was a kid, I had quite a few illnesses, and so I missed a bit of school. And I think I must have missed a bit of school around what the margin was on a piece of paper. And the margin, there's a line that comes down, and you've got to write up to sort of the margin sort of thing. And so I remember it very clearly, like this is a trauma in Barry's life. And so I was writing something on a piece of paper as a child, and probably something off the blackboard the teacher had put up there. And um, the teacher, who was a bit of a grumpy old lady, and she had a reputation, she snuck up. Yeah, snuck up. I don't know whether she snuck up, but she just appeared from over my left-hand shoulder. I remember so clearly, over my left-hand shoulder, and um, pointed down at what I'd be writing. And she pointed at the margin, and she said, "What's that there for?" And I looked at it, and not knowing what it was there for, and I said, "It's always been there." And um, wham, came down this massive, great big leather strap right on my desk. And she thought I was being cheeky. She thought I was being a bit smart, Alec. But I wasn't. I was just saying it how it was. It was like, it's always been there. And then it really traumatized my right. It probably traumatized me in lots of areas. But the thought that Uh, my writing, I'd missed something here. Yeah, really shocked my world. And I suppose my writing took a bit of a backwards, big leap there, where I lost a lot of confidence in being able to write things and be creative in my writing. I was really good in reading, and I suppose wasn't any strength weight down beside me. Um, and I was really good in reading. Um, and but my writing really struggled. And it wasn't until much later when I was 15, 16 sort of thing, and I was in what we call here in New Zealand high school, or college here in New Zealand, 15, 16. And I wrote something, and my teacher at that time said, "This is very good. I really like what you've written," and affirmed deeply within me that my writing was good. And then I had, in the next few years, I had a few more, um, who I'd say is who are big people as such, the teachers and so on, others that commented on my writing, my creative writing, and how good it was. And so I went off and did a university degree in agriculture. Um, Not exactly creative writing, writing about cows and sheep and farms and all that sort of thing. I didn't really do very well in that particular degree. I passed. So, and then later on, I went into college, Bible college, seminary, that sort of thing, and I started writing for theology. And that's where it's a place where you can write creatively. You don't have to write scientifically, write creatively. And my longest piece that I wrote was about sexual abuse and dehumanization. That was like 10,000 words. And if you want a copy of it, I'm happy to send it to you. Just send me an email. And I got an A plus for it. And I realized that I actually do have an ability to write and to write creatively and to write in a way that really does connect with people. At that time when I was doing my theology degree, I was also pastoring a community where most people struggle with mental health struggles. And so you had to be able to write and to be able to preach in a way that people really understood it well in very earthy, grounded terms. And I think most people actually really like to hear and read content that actually does connect. That's why this course is called Writing That Connects. And so, what I would do was I would prepare a little message and I'd write it out and print it out, and people could take it home and read it again and again and again. And people would then start to reflect on it during the week and ask me questions. And one person handed it over the fence to the neighbour, and it was wonderful. But I was really listening for the people where they itched. What was the issues? What were they struggling with? What things did they need help with? And one of my favourite quotes that I um, probably still inspires me today, came from a guy called Larry Crabb. And he writes this: beneath what our culture calls psychological disorder, that's what most of my congregation at that time were actually struggling with psychological disorders. Underneath all that, what our culture calls psychological disorder is a soul crying out for what only community can provide. There is no disorder requiring treatment. And contrary to hardline moralism, there is more to our struggles than a stubborn will needing firm admonishment. Yeah. So what he's talking about there is try harder, work harder, believe harder. He carries on, beneath all our problems, there are desperately hurting souls that must find the nourishment only community can provide, or die. We must do more. We must do something other than train professional experts to fix damaged psyches. Damaged psyches aren't the problem. The problem beneath our struggles is a disconnected soul. I like that. The problem beneath our struggles is a disconnected soul. And we must do something more than exhort people to do what's right and then hold them accountable. Groups tend to emphasize accountability when they don't know how to relate. Better behavior through exhortation isn't the solution, though sometimes it is part of it. Rather than fixing psyches or scolding sinners, we must provide nourishment for the disconnected soul that only a community of connected people can offer. That's Larry Crabb connecting. And I read that right at the very start of my ministry, and it has stuck with me. And so, in my writing, in my speaking, I really want to connect with the struggles that people are experiencing and bring them to what the Bible or something else that I may be wanting to share. I want them to just go away with something that really connects with their deepest place. So, what this course is going to cover is I'm going to cover some structures that I use to actually help me in my writing and in my speaking. Um, I'm going to cover the importance of just one idea, just one idea in whatever you write or whatever you present, and how to find it. Okay, that's the hard part. I'm going to talk about the tools I use. So these are some of the internet type tools, other things that I use. I'm also going to talk a bit about writing for the web and how I've learned how to write in a certain way that actually is suitable for people to find on the internet. I'm also going to share a few things like how I've created a quote library and I've got lots to share, and I hope you'll join us and following through on these various videos. But right now, I'd like you to do a little exercise for me, and just write a little bit about your experience with writing. So I shared mine of a major trauma um, with the strap being slapped down, but also the triumphs of the encouragements and the encouragements to actually to continue on the writing. And so, if you look at that, if after you've written it, think of one idea, one thing that you have learned that you want to carry on and focus on in your writing. Okay, we'll see you shortly in lesson number 1.